Like, life isn't about you. Like, that's what I believe, being a part of something bigger than yourself. You get wrapped up in getting all the glory and the fame and the status. I feel like that's a shallow life, and that can, fade away pretty quickly. So for me, it's, obviously, yeah, we're playing the Super Bowl. I'm very honored and thankful. I want to win a championship for this organization, but more than anything, I'm, trying to just serve my guys on this team well and love on them well, and the whole organization and everyone in my life. That's how I view it. Yeah, it's like, honestly, I think it's just a testament to God and where he's taken me in life. I've never been the biggest, the fastest, the strongest, or any of that. I feel like I've always sort of had to fight for what I get and work for what I get. But God's always given me an opportunity, whether that was in high school, college, and then obviously in the NFL. Getting drafted last, people, overlook you and all that kind of stuff, and then all you need is an opportunity, and when watching, see what he does. I put my faith and trust in him, and he's gotten me where I'm at. So when I'm down 17 at half, honestly, I'm just like thinking, like, all right, God, you've taken me here, and win or lose, I'm going to glorify you, and that's my peace, that's the joy, that's the steadfastness. That's where I get it from, and that's the honest truth. So I leaned into that, and sure enough, we were able to come back. Honestly, one of the things that I had been reading throughout the season was Mark 8:34. Talks about Jesus is telling his disciples, if you want to follow me, deny yourself, take up your cross, and follow me. And it also talks about if you try to hold on to your life, you'll lose it, but if you lose your life for my sake, you'll save it. And so I think really that is just like, I feel like the message of the whole season, with all the stuff that had happened, coming in, playing, then having success, and maintaining that success, getting to the playoffs, and doing all these things that rookie quarterback hadn't really done in NFL history. And with myself, and like my mindset with it was exactly that verse that Jesus had told his disciples thousands of years ago. And I didn't want to grip onto this life of, oh my gosh, I'm in the NFL, I have a starting quarterback role, I can't lose it. It was flipped. I was reminded, of what Jesus had told us thousands of years ago, in terms of, don't try to hold on to your life, you're going to lose it. And the world wants you to go this way or that way, and the minute you have fame, and if you're trying to chase status and money and all this kind of stuff, you'll lose your life, rather than denying yourself, picking up your cross, keeping my eyes on Jesus and his promises, and through that, like, that's life, and that's a life worth living, and that's how you save your life, and that's in Christ. So I think it was just an accumulation of practice, reps, and plays, just really throughout training camp, and then obviously you get into the preseason, and you're playing in those games and having some success. But I think practice, I was making some throws and handling things in the offense and in the huddle, where I was like, I can do this. And I definitely, I'm not comparing myself to anyone or anything, but I believe that I can. I'm making these throws, and I'm getting my teammates' attention and everything like that. And I had some guys, some vets that have been playing for a while, and they've been to different places, and they told me, like, dude, you have what it takes. And so sort of just hearing that was great. But overall, man, just relying on the Lord and what his plan was, and truly believing that he had something written out for me, whether that was football or whether it wasn't. I wasn't trying to hold on to being an NFL player or anything like that. I allowed him to just do what he wanted to with me. So, and then it all just unfolded in the right way.
My mom definitely feels the emotion and stuff. My dad is more of the calm, cool, collected guy. He doesn't talk to many people. He likes to sort of just take it all in. But if there's people over at the house, like my dad, everyone knows if you're around Sean Purdy, be quiet. He needs to sort of focus and take it all in. My mom's all excited, but the night before games, we always call, we pray together, and we sort of just keep it simple. They don't, do anything more than what they do. They just enjoy the games and stuff. But I know my dad does, internally takes it he's nervous. He's always praying. He says the whole game he's just praying the whole time. So, but other than that, they've enjoyed. I feel like in high school and college, you definitely told me, all right, yeah, there was this player, that situation you could have done. I'm like, Dad, I know. My coaches are telling me, and more than anything, I know. After a bad play or something happens as a quarterback, you already know. And but since I've gotten into the NFL, he's done a good job with just calling me and telling me that he's proud of me and that he loves me, and sort of just leaves it at that, and just lets me know that he's got my back, and that he has, or he's supporting me through it all. And so that's more than anything what he tells me now. There's been situations in my life playing the game where just growing up, high school, college, where the moment has been pretty big for me. And then I had watched the film after, and I'm like, man, if I'm just watching this film and I take away all the emotion of how I was feeling right then and there in that moment, I just got to do this, or I have to do that, and I have to go through this read. And so I feel like sort of going back to those experiences, I'm reminded of that in the moment. And it's like, I'm in a big environment right now. There's a lot of people going crazy and stuff. We feel a certain way because of the score, the situation, but I know that after this game, when I turn on the film and it's just me in a quiet room, like all I have to do is drop back, look off this defender and hit my guy right over the middle or whatever the play is. And so I sort of remind myself of that. Like, I'm playing 11 on 11 football. You know, if I do fail here, I'm gonna learn from it. And so it sort of takes out that factor of fearing to fail, you know. So
Because it seems odd.
yeah, man, I always feel like there's so more, you know, that I could be better at and stuff. So for me to sit back and think, oh man, I'm doing this right or this right, like I always feel like there's more. And so I don't know if I necessarily have taken a step back and thought about it, but that's what comes to mind when you ask me, just in terms of keeping things simple. I just go back to the film and I'm like, man, when I watch this film and everything's quiet, you know, it's not as bad as I thought it was in the moment, you know, in terms of going through my reads and hitting the check down rather than forcing something or you know, letting the moment be too big for me. So, and then obviously, like, if we're being honest, my faith, you know, tying into my faith, that allows me to just, you know, play and not be afraid to fail. Like, I know that, you know, God's gonna, you know, take care of wherever I'm at in my life, whether it's football or not. And so I'm actually able to use that when I'm making decisions and playing football. So yeah, man, I feel like lately what I've sort of learned is just perspective, you know, trying to have a good perspective, a clean perspective on where I'm at in my life. I may go to a grocery store now and people see me and want a picture or sort of, you know, get excited, which is great. And then for me to, you know, be afraid of that, like, man, this is only in this bubble of, you know, here, just in California, you know, or maybe in this country, yes, but I try to have the perspective that there's things going on around the world. There's people that are, you know, trying to survive with food and life and shelter and stuff. So people may think and think we're on another level or these, you know, gods, but man, I'm human. You know, I have flaws and there's things I need to work on in my life. I'm playing football for the 49ers. I'm very thankful for that opportunity, but I also try to have this perspective of like, man, I'm human and I try to live just the simple, you know, I'm a brother, I'm a fiance, I'm a son, I'm a teammate, and I will make it more than that. And so that's where I'm at. And honestly, I think it does help me play, you know, with football and all the pressures and stuff that this position can have. It allows me to sort of just keep things simple and understand who I am. Then I'm not going to be perfect, but I can go out and just play and be myself. Just the system playing within Kyle's, you know, offense and my guys and sort of, you know, understanding that for me, you know, growing up, I always felt like I had to be the athletic Superman on my team and win games. I feel like now it's like, man, yes, win games, but not with your body so much, but with your mind, you know, win games by making consistent, you know, the right decision consistently. You know, obviously going through reads, if I have an opportunity with the D-ball or something, great. If not, check it down. Like, that's winning the game, not turning the ball over. Obviously I've had to learn the hard way multiple times this year with those kinds of games and performances, but you know, the games that we're winning, it's because I'm being smart with the ball and I'm willing to check it down. I'm willing to punt, and those kinds of things. So that's something that I feel like I've learned. And then just the other thing, just with life and stuff, you know, as a quarterback in the NFL, like, it's a long season. You play 17 games, 18 weeks. And there's a lot of good, there's a lot of bad. And people, you know, obviously will talk you up when things are all great and stuff. And then the minute you fail and slip up, they're quick to say, all right, see, you know, this is who he really is. So as a human and as a football player, man, that's what I've sort of just had to learn this year, is understanding who I am and whether I do good or not. Like, I'm rooted in that and who I am, you know. And for me, it's my faith in God, and that's it. You know, I am who He calls me to be. I love all my teammates and my family well, whatever the circumstance is, you know. So that's something that I've learned this year, and you know, hopefully I can continue to build off that. That is a perception that you can have, you know, even for myself, like thinking like those kinds of people who say he's not this, he's not that. But again, like I said, my identity isn't in football. Yeah, exactly. Just my identity, you know, not being in this football, this life, you know, the things that can come with it. And it's all, you know, such a blessing. I'm very thankful for it, and I'm not taking it for granted. But I honestly, my mindset is I try to hold this all loosely, you know, not try to hold on to, I need to be the guy, the starter in the NFL, this and that. And I think the more you think like that, the more you start comparing yourself to guys like that, Lamar Jackson, Josh Allen or whatever, and those guys are great, but I'm not them and they're not me. Like, I know who I am, and God, if you want me to do great with this, great. If not, all right, let's go do something else wherever you need me. And that's allowed me to not put all this pressure on myself. It's allowed me to play free. It's allowed me to live my life and keep things simple. And
yeah, I mean, the first thing that comes to mind is just how faithful God is, just by nature of who he is. You know, a year ago, after my senior year of college, so a year ago, I'm sitting there and I'm talking to, you know, Coach Campbell and my parents, and I'm like, man, I don't know if this is going to work out. I don't know if football's in my future. Like, I don't know what it looks like, but I'm going to just go with, you know, the whole process of getting ready for the combine and then the draft. And if I get a shot with an NFL team, great. You know, I'm gonna put my head down and go to work and see what God does with me. But I had no idea, and I'm not gonna lie, I had a lot of doubt. I had a lot of doubt of if football was even in the picture, and I was starting to get ready for whatever else God had for me in my life. You know, whatever that career looked like. I was starting to just think about different things, and so yeah, just overall how God is faithful. He's never done with a story, even when you think he is. And yeah, that's probably the first thing that comes to mind.